My name is Alexander Kabbaz. I'm a men's custom shirt maker, and I've been doing it for 30 years. When you look at a shirt, the first thing you see is the fabric. The second thing you see is the fit. As far as I'm concerned, the most important thing is the fit, because you can always change the fabric. So I cut it, Antonio made it, I put the buttonholes in, Monica sewed the buttons on the shirt, and now we've got a finished shirt. Of course, we've got to wash it, we've got to iron it, now we put it on a hanger. And the client comes back. We've got this wonderful masterpiece that's the very, very first crack off his pattern. Hopefully the sleeves will be longer than this. Sometimes they're not. So now we put the shirt on the client. Very first thing I'm going to say to the client is, are you uncomfortable? Is there some place where you feel this shirt? Hopefully the answer is, what shirt? That would be a good answer. Most of the clients say, no, it seems to feel very good. And so far we've done this without letting them anywhere near a mirror. Heaven forbid they should see the shirt. Then we take them over to a mirror and we say, okay, let's test a few things. How high is it under your armhole? The sign of a good fitting shirt is that it's high under your armhole. And that's because when you put the jacket on, if the armhole is down here, then your jacket sleeve is going to do that to it. We don't want that. That would be a bad thing, okay? So we're trying to cut this as high as possible. That's the first thing, is that we're going to start to find out, is the client comfortable? And if they're comfortable, now let's start to work on the esoterics of the shirt. If you notice here, this part of the shirt is basically pretty flat. Well, it not necessarily would be on the client the first time. It might have this wrinkle that you can see developing here, because if you notice, my shoulder has sloped down. In order for that shirt to come back to right, either my shoulder has to go back up, or if the client's shoulder is down there, I've got to remake the shirt here to take this wrinkle out. Once I've done and taken a look at what I consider to be the important aspects of fit, are the sleeves long enough? Are you seeing this in the shirt? You know, those are all not good things. So once I get those fixed, then we start to get into client preferences. If you don't mind, I have a little prop here that I want to use. Say, for example, we put this on the client, okay? And he looked at it, and he had originally told me he wanted a pointed fashion point collar, but he lied. He didn't know what he wanted. What he wanted was a shirt with a spread collar. So I'm going to take my pen, and I'm going to draw on that. And I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and cut those off and let him again look at it in the mirror. He first thought that he wanted to have a cuff that had one button, but I happened to bring with me a 3-button shirt the day that I put this fitting sample on him, and so he decided, well, it might be nice to have the cuff with 3 buttons, so I'm going to make that change. Once we get all those things out of the way, it's right back to square one. We take the pattern, and we're going to tape on some additional pieces of fabric, and we're going to take the collar pattern and cut off those fashion points that he thought he wanted, but then he found out he didn't want. We're going to go through the whole thing again. When we originally have our discussion with the client, one of the things we're talking about is fullness. One of the things we're not talking about is drape. How the shirt fits in terms of the amount of fabric greater than the size of the body is something the client really has the right to determine, because they know whether or not they want the shirt constricting or very, very loose. That's the client's job to tell me that. If they don't know how to tell me, I will eventually get it out of them. So in that respect, whether the shirt is right or not is completely determined by the client's preferences. However, whether the shirt is laying properly on the body is not the responsibility of the client. It is my responsibility to make sure that the angles of the human body that are covered by the shirt are the same angles that are built into the shirt. Normally the second edition of the pattern is good enough that what we're going to ask them to do is, please take this shirt, wear it to the office for a day, get a good idea of, is everything really the way you want, and get it laundered by your laundry. Then when you've worn it for a day, had it laundered, then I'm going to see you again. I'm going to make a few more minute adjustments. Every time you order shirts for the first few years, I want to see you in the shirt you liked the most and the shirt you hated the most before I go forward. And that's pretty much how we go through the fit and trim part. It's an evolving process that lasts many years. My name is Alexander Kabbaz. I'm a men's custom shirt maker, and I've been doing it for 30 years.